Welcome to Let There Be Rock, episode 10. Today we're going to look at beach music. Now, beach music grows out of a mix of a bunch of different sounds. Gets its start over in the Carolinas with, you might know, a dance called the Carolina Swag, which grew out of jazz. Makes its way over to California, and in Southern California, we get a mix of Doo Wop, jazz, Carolina Swag, and some of that Latin rock and roll coming up from Baja, California.
The thrill is gone, baby. The thrill is gone away. You know you done me wrong, baby, and you'll be sorry someday. The thrill is gone. It's gone away from me.
Way back in 1962, the greatest band to ever be called beach music, the Surfaris, just sounds like beach music. The Surfaris released a song that was an instrumental, and it managed to top the charts, something that doesn't happen a whole lot. That song was Wipeout. Let's listen to the original version from 1962, the Surfaris' Wipeout. That percussion. And that bass comes in. Oh, and that's very jazzy. It just sounds like a jam session, and it probably was originally. This goes down as one of the greatest drum solos of all time. You just want to dance, don't you? Again, it sounds like the surf coming in. I can't listen to this without getting visions in my mind of people on surfboards with waves crashing over them. I also can't do it without imagining that Frankie Avalon and that Funicello movie with the girls in the bikinis. So, absolutely wonderful, wonderful song. When I think of beach music, I think of boardwalks. And if you think of boardwalks, you've got to think of the Drifters. The Drifters released the Motown-influenced song Under the Boardwalk in 1964. It reached number 4 on the Billboard charts, and it's since been covered by everybody. It's a highly influential song. I've seen the Rolling Stones do this. I've seen Bruce Willis do this. I've seen Bette Midler do this. Everybody covers Under the Boardwalk. Listen for the doo-wop influence, and also listen for that beach sound influenced by the Latin beat. The Drifters, Under the Boardwalk. Hear that Latin background already.
When the
But
sun
that voice
beats down
is
and
pure
burns the
doo-wop.
tar up on the
Kind of a
roof.
Motown sound.
and your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the
Absolute classic.
yeah, on a blanket with my baby, where
I can hear Temptations in there. I can hear the Penguins in there.
under the boardwalk.
Hear that falsetto in there.
Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. From the park, hear the happy sound of a carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs and French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
In 1966, another band called the Capitals released an album. The album was called Cool Jerk, and it went along with a dance called the Jerk, or the Cool Jerk. You may know this song from the California Raisins commercials or the Cool Whip commercial where they changed it to Cool Whip, but it's Cool Jerk originally. It was also recut by the Go-Go's at one point, but the original version was by the Capitals. The Capitals, Cool Jerk. Hear that jazz opening. That clap in there is very characteristic of beach music. Those harmonies, I can trace that all the way back to the Celtic sound. And there's a blues shouter quality to the voice. And that falsetto on the high notes. Love that. Song still holds up. You could still go into a club and play this song and people would get down and go crazy.
Look at them guys looking at me like I'm a fool. Ah, deep down inside, they know I'm cool. I said now the moment of truth has finally come. When I'm gonna show you some of that cool shit. Now give me a little bit of drum by himself there. Now give me a little bit of bass with those 88s. Ah, you're cooking, baby. You're smoking. Now everybody, I want to hear you all. Ah, can you do? Come on, people.
One of the great characteristics of beach music was that they were really more beat driven than they were lyrics driven most of the time. And one of the best examples of beach music didn't really get famous because of its use on an album. It got famous because of its use on a TV show. This is from 1968 and it's by a band called The Ventures. And what you're going to listen to now is the original theme song from Hawaii Five-0. What a great opening percussion. It just sounds like the waves coming in. hear that Latin beat in there. It's also got a lot of that Polynesian sound through that. That's not going to be common in most beach music, but it's Hawaii Five-O. Still holds up. Still holds up. When you think about beach music, you got to think about the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys had many, many hits, but to me, Good Vibrations is the best example of true beach music that they did. This song came out in 1966. It was the lyrics were written by Mike Love. It was orchestrated and composed by the genius Brian Wilson, and again, it's been covered by many, many people. If you ever get a chance to see the Beach Boys in concert, I saw them in, I think, 86, maybe 85, at the old Astrodome in Houston, Texas. I'm sorry, Astro World in Houston, Texas. And it was a phenomenal show. They were already middle-aged men. Now they're considerably older, but they're still out touring and they're still doing this. This is Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys from 1966.
I love the colorful clothes she
Again, you feel that beach coming in, the tide coming in.
Sunlight plays upon her
That falsetto voice of Mike Love's awesome.
I hear the sound of a gentle word on the wind that lifts her perfume.
Lots of influence from jazz. Listen to the orchestrations through here.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitement.
This is a heavily cut song. Good Vibrations live doesn't sound like this. Brian Wilson went in and physically cut the tape and put it together. Overlays, heavily produced. I can hear rockabilly in here, and the influence of Doo Wop and Motown.
Softly smile, I know she must.
Lots of Beatles influence in here. The Beatles and the Beach Boys, particularly Paul McCartney and Brian Wilson, had kind of a friendly competition.
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking
Love those harmonies.
good vibrations. Excitations. Good vibrations. Excitations. Good vibrations. I don't know where, but she sends me there. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations are happening with her. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations are happening with her. Gotta keep those loving good vibrations.
One of the bands in beach music that just doesn't get enough credit is General Johnson and the chairman of the board. They released a song in 1980 called Carolina Girls. It's a little late for the beach music heyday of the 1950s and 60s, mostly 60s, but it was still going on. Think about it, 1980, that's not but just a few years before the Beach Boys had their big comeback with Kokomo. But Carolina Girls is a throwback to the older style of beach music, and it was a way of kind of honoring the fact that the Carolina Shag introduced beach music before it ever made its way to California. So let's listen to a little bit of Carolina Girls from 1980. What a great opening. Almost a honky-tonk piano in there. It's a lot cleaner than the other beach music, and it doesn't have quite the feel of the water coming in, but I still feel like it's something that I could go stand out in the sand, listen to the Carolina Shag.
Best in the world.